The tools have definitely evolved over the years. We're more focused than ever to stay patterns, to days of week occupancy, comp set occupancies, all these different items. And then, the other piece that's important is the relationship piece and the sales manager understanding their customers and the way the customer buys. But leveraging brands, and we do face headwinds. We've also found that in our hotels, probably the top 5 business travel accounts provide almost 85 to 90% of that BT revenue for us. So it's really important to get the accounts priced correctly, and we only get one shot at it.
It obviously, when you're working across multiple revenue management systems and multiple brand platforms, at first it starts with having directors of revenue management that have a competency within those specific brands. But it goes beyond that. It comes from the point that the people really making the ultimate pricing decisions on a tactical level is the general manager, the director of sales, and the director of revenue management. And they have that market knowledge base.
I think what's challenging our general managers, our operators at the hotels, is that they really aren't always able to sort of make the best possible decision with all the best information provided to them. In other words, it's difficult to make a complicated decision about how to price over 3, 5, 7 days out when things are constantly changing and you don't know necessarily whether your competition is doing something that's smart or you should follow them or you shouldn't follow them. So that environment is a very complicated environment to get pricing right in, and I think we just need to do a better job of helping those owners understand when it is okay to make that price change.
I hear a lot today and throughout the conference about rate confidence. Rate confidence comes from occupancy. The first question I ask when I walk into a hotel is, how many times did you sell out last year? And when that number is 25, 30, 45, that's not the number that you want to hear. You want to be somewhere in the deep triple digits just to immediately have kind of a starting point for how much demand do we have. If you can't sell all the inventory most of the time, it's difficult to have rate confidence.
Rate will always follow occupancy. It's not the other way around. It's only when you start to get to certain occupancy percentage that you get the confidence of trying to raise rates. Now, at a macro level, one can say that over a trailing 12 months period, you can say that the ADRs and the occupancies in North America have stabilized. But if you look at Europe, occupancies and rates, if you look at it over a trailing 12 months period, it's actually deteriorated fairly rapidly. So last year they had some record rate and occupancy numbers, and this year it's deteriorated extremely rapidly. And I think it's going to continue for a while, depending on what other bad news we've got to hear from that economy. But
isn't it all about heads and beds? Where's the fine line between heads and beds and making money? Where do you cross that?
Talked yesterday about the evolution of revenue management, and it used to be break-even analysis. And then you kind of step back and look and say, okay, break-even we said was, whatever the $20, $25 per room. And then you kind of look back and say, well, we have to pay credit card fees, we have to pay franchise fees.
A lot of it is education to the people on the property to make more informed decisions about pricing beyond just looking at pinning themselves to the guy across the street.